Welcome, it's the Market Sniper, a short video for you today. Somebody was saying, oh, he talks for too long, Okay, you can have a short one here. It's about the Rand, the beginning of the Rand collapse in our view. We're going to go straight to the charts. Boom, let's go have a look. This is your 1 hour view. This is one of our draws. We've done two. There's kind of a fractal over here that's kind of super proportionate. But there's also this larger structure overall. And anyway, technically, what are we saying? We are saying the beginning of a fall in the value of the Rand is going. And many people say, but that's always the case. The Rand is a terrible currency, blah, 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 blah. Well, in fact, it's actually been in the 18 to 20 zone for a long time against the dollar. And in the Euro's case, it's been in this zone for quite an extended period. Let's just remind you, let's go to a daily chart quickly and jumping around. You can see actually it was up top here. At one point, it was 21 at one point against the Euro. That was in May 23. And in actual fact, it strengthened. Don't forget, going down is strengthening of the Rand, weakening of the Euro. It's weakened again back there. It's been in this range of around 19.39 and 21 for quite an extended period. So our opinion is the following. It is going to break two new levels and go to 22.5 stroke 35 in the process of what is just beginning now. So let's go back down to the lower time frame. So this overall, by the way, is the setup just before we leave the macro, and we feel that it's doing its first little move on what is a bigger setup. You see, the best way to make wealth is to multiply your way to wealth, not add your way to wealth in trading, and that's to get setups within setups. This is the main setup over here. Overall, that's it right there in our take on balance of probabilities. Remember, we can still always be incorrect. And then it's going to go and break out through here. It's probably doing that roundabout now. Hence why we update and let our free friends participate and make potential profits on trades that we like and are putting towards you. So that's the daily time frame. But why is it interesting to look at it on a shorter time frame? And why is this risk reward here pointing to around 26.74, 26.75? Wow, that's almost 3/4 of a way to 27 risk reward ratio, 1 unit getting you 26.75 units of reward. So that's pretty unique. Why is it going so far? Why is it going so high? How did we get that risk so tight? Well, assuming it's successful, which is still quite some assumption to make, going back to our original screen view, this is a smaller time frame structure within a structure. And what that means is you can have risk over here. And in fact, we've even pulled it tighter to the point where we've even drawn it right the way over here and seen this as the main fractal over the setup, the final squeeze that is triggering the main move. And the benefit of that as a potential draw, while we wait for it to draw, is that it allows you to put your risk super tight. Not only there, you could in fact put your risk here under these levels to get that real squeeze that allows you, for the same loss, let's say $1,000, to have more size for the upside. That's going to do, if you're right, 26.75 to the upside. So this is known as a squeeze within the squeeze, and that's why it's significant. Let's see why this thing is not drawing. Please do the draw and enter. There we go, it's coming now. So in that case, you can see on the smaller time frame, let's wipe our face a little bit so that you can see that was actually our third local high. So we're treating this one as the most proportionate little structure that was hanging in and around. Where was the key level? Now, volume on FX isn't easy to determine. So this is just a proxy, the volume by profile, but it's telling you that a lot of the price behavior was sitting in this range here and there, in and around that point of control. So a little bit to the low side to our splitter in the middle there, but hanging about. And what's happened? We've triggered, we hung on the line, break and feign. That's one of the stages we talk about. You feign through and you break back in, and then you've moved and taken that first interim. Hence why you're resting now after a little bit of a surge. Second and third. So this is your lower time frame analysis on the H1. That is using HVF method as your primary deriver of potential high reward, low risk trades that allow you to take the unique moments when leverage is worthwhile using, and it's rare, and judicious use of leverage to maximize gains to the upside on a move in currencies. So what will the narrative be? I would like to hear from you in the comments. Is it going to be the Zionist pushback of Israel and USA against South Africa as the BRICS nation bastion leading the genocide case against the Israelis? Is it going to be something else? Is it going to be ESCOM power? Is it going to be corruption, state capture, EFF? You know the usuals. Will SA be the epicenter for a new, you know what I can't say? Well, one of those. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But whatever the reason being, it looks technically like the Rand has begun a journey to weaken quite somewhat. And your tightest stops can be right in up top here, which would even further reduce. We've been lucky enough to get entries along this level right away along here, which has been awesome. And then we go back to the daily view. I'm going to have to readjust that target. Remember this target here, remember this number, 20.77 will in fact trigger that daily setup. So now we're going back up the time frame, and we need to grab that line and say draw the bigger setup again, and that will give you that target. So I have to pull that green a little bit down, and the super tight squeeze that the very low time frame hourly is allowing us to get a break in that's going to take us smashing it up to in and around the 22.5s on the Euro ZAR. Bear in mind it will also be losing ground on the USD ZAR. By the way, on the actual entries we've taken and on the super tight stop, which is where my stops are now, it's actually a 65. So for every 1,000 you risk, you get 65.51. Let's see the probabilities. How unlikely we could fail on that stop. Let's stick with that and see how it goes. We're seeing gold move there as well. So just before I leave and finish what's meant to be a short YouTube, we will do the USD ZAR just so that people can see that there's across the board Rand weakness. This is not Euro strength. This is a Rand weakness. So if we go over here, you have similar structures in view here, and we will show you how we'd probably have drawn them like that over there. And that is also going to be showing you. Many of you might be interested in the dollar because it's a more common, despite the euro being a very big FX. But what does it mean? So Rand dollar 21.44, those will be new official highs. This is going to become the future headline you're going to be reading. I'm sitting here telling you if what we think happens, you are going to be reading about it, and there'll be some narrative associated with it in terms of the Rand. But beautiful point of control on our exactly on our axis over there. It's magnificent to see, and this breakout also to trigger on the bigger pattern yet to happen. This little squeezy though has begun its move. So also 21.4. Technically, even without taking an immense amount of risk, there is a long position that can be played for, and most platforms do the Rand against the dollar. In fact, most do them against the euro too. There's so many people, but you could get, if you were chasing in now, which is not advice or recommendation at all, but if you were going long at these points over here, bear in mind we just made an interim, so it could just pull back on that hourly structure on the euro, and you may do the same. You would still be looking at the better part of an 8 and a run up to the 21.43. So 22.5 on the euro, 21.43 on the dollar. And just to take it even further out, you will see that these are really big new highs. The last and highest point was 19.91, and that was in 23. And before that was April in 20. So it's actually been, you know, the notion that it's a one-way trade short is not true. Here you can see the Rand was strengthening all the way for quite an extended period. So getting trades accurately and getting it right, don't forget the interest rates paid on the Rand are indeed higher. So there is compensation for people that are in the higher risk currencies. So there's a carry cost on these trades. Anyway, non-advisory, our take, Rand weakening, across the board on the euro versus the USD. We've shown you both. We've shown you how you can work a trade. This is a live trade reaction. We referred to this trade as forthcoming at some event in a previous YouTube as something we've been watching and stalking. This is why we are the sniper. We aren't shooting all the time with leverage. We are waiting for the unique moment where you could get it asymmetric risk reward ratio with a high possibility of outcome with a managed loss. That's when it's safe to use leverage. Okay, till next time, don't forget to click the link below. You could be building wealth. Opportunities are going to rain down on you during 2024. You're missing most of them. Go and look at the Twitter feed. I've been giving heads up to the community on this one on an ongoing basis. So they've been a very high state of awareness. You are missing things by not being it. Think of the money you are not making by not being in our community. First link below. Go ahead and book a call. Otherwise, just enjoy the free view content. Give us a like and a share for helping you along if you find this interesting or developing you in any way. Bye for now. Until next time.